Baywatch was more than just a television show. It was a cultural phenomenon that brought us sun, surf, and slow-motion rescues. The series introduced us to some of the most iconic lifeguards in television history, played by a cast that became household names. But what happened to these stars after they left the beach? Let's take a look at the Baywatch cast then and now. David Hasselhoff was already famous from Knight Rider, but Baywatch turned him into a global superstar. Not only did he star in the series, but he also became an executive producer, helping it become a massive international hit. After Baywatch, Hasselhoff had a mixed career. He found success as a singer in Germany and appeared in reality television, but he also struggled with alcohol addiction, which led to a leaked video of him intoxicated in 2007. He eventually got sober and continued to embrace his cult status with roles in Dodgeball, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, and a Baywatch movie cameo in 2017. Pamela Anderson became an international sex symbol thanks to her role as CJ Parker. She leveraged her fame into a successful modeling career, posing for Playboy multiple times. However, her personal life often overshadowed her career. Her tumultuous marriages to Tommy Lee and Kid Rock, a leaked sex tape, and legal battles kept her in the headlines. After Baywatch, she had roles in VIP, Scary Movie 3, and Dancing with the Stars. In recent years, she released a memoir and has focused on activism, particularly animal rights. David Charvet left Baywatch to pursue a music career, finding some success in France. However, his acting career never fully recovered. He married Dancing with the Stars host Brooke Burke, but their marriage ended in divorce. In recent years, he stepped away from Hollywood to focus on real estate development. Alexandra Paul played the tough and intelligent Stephanie Holden. Unlike many of her co-stars, she focused on independent films and activism after Baywatch. She has been arrested multiple times for her environmental protests and remains an outspoken advocate for animal rights and climate change. Billy Warlock was already a soap opera star before Baywatch, and after leaving the show, he returned to soaps, appearing in Days of Our Lives and General Hospital. He eventually stepped away from Hollywood and now lives a quieter life with his wife. Erika Eleniak was a former Playboy playmate before Baywatch made her a household name. She left the show early on and struggled to maintain a high-profile career. She battled personal issues, including an eating disorder, but later found stability, focusing on family and smaller acting roles. Jeremy Jackson grew up on Baywatch, playing Mitch's son, Hobie. Unfortunately, his post-Baywatch life was filled with struggles. He battled severe drug addiction, including meth and steroids, and had multiple run-ins with the law. He appeared on Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew but continued to struggle, eventually serving jail time for a violent incident. Gina Lee Nolan was another Playboy model turned Baywatch star. She later landed the lead role in Sheena but eventually stepped back from acting. She became an advocate for thyroid disease awareness after suffering from Hashimoto's disease. Yasmin Bleeth was one of Baywatch's most beloved stars, but behind the scenes, she battled cocaine addiction. She was arrested in 2001 and later wrote about her struggles in a candid essay. She left Hollywood shortly after and has lived a largely private life away from the spotlight. David Chikachi became a fan favorite but never quite replicated his Baywatch success. He continued acting in television movies and small projects while staying active in environmental causes. Tracy Bingham joined Baywatch in the late 90s, making history as one of the few black actresses on the show. After leaving, she became a reality television regular, appearing on The Surreal Life, Celebrity Big Brother, and The Celebrity Apprentice. However, her acting career never took off, and she faced financial struggles, including a lawsuit over a paid appearance she failed to attend. She has since stayed mostly out of the spotlight. Michael Bergen, a former Calvin Klein model, played J.D. Darius in the later seasons. He gained tabloid attention due to his relationship with Carolyn Bessette Kennedy before she married John F. After Baywatch, his career slowed down, and he eventually transitioned to real estate. Donna DeRico joined Baywatch after being a Playboy playmate. She later married Nikki Sixx, but their marriage ended in divorce. In recent years, she has spoken about her struggles with plastic surgery, her faith, and her interest in climbing Mount Everest. She occasionally takes on acting roles but is mostly focused on personal projects. Australian actor Jason Simmons played Logan Fowler and later came out as gay, making him one of the few Baywatch stars to do so. After Baywatch, he appeared in indie films but never found major success. He continues to act occasionally and now focuses on writing. Carmen Electra had a brief but memorable run on Baywatch before becoming a pop culture icon. She modeled for Playboy, starred in movies like Scary Movie, and had high-profile relationships, including a short-lived marriage to Dennis Rodman. She continued working in Hollywood, appearing on reality television and in comedy films. She remains a beloved 90s icon. Kelly Packard played April in the later seasons, and later starred in Ripley's Believe It or Not. After Baywatch, she focused on family life and left Hollywood, occasionally making guest appearances on television. Another Playboy playmate turned Baywatch actress, Marlise Andrade, had a short run on the show and quickly faded from Hollywood afterward. She has since lived a private life away from the spotlight. Brand Roderick joined Baywatch in its later years and later became Playboy's 2001 Playmate of the Year. She appeared on The Apprentice and worked in business ventures but never had a significant acting career after Baywatch. Susan Anton played Jackie Quinn, a strong and authoritative figure on Baywatch. Before joining the show, Anton was already known as an actress, singer, and former beauty queen, starring in Golden Girl and Cannonball Run 2. After Baywatch, she continued acting in TV shows like Law and Order and performed on Broadway. Though she never reached A-list status, she maintained a steady career in entertainment. Gregory Allen Williams played the beloved cop Garner Ellerby, often assisting the lifeguards. Unlike many of his co-stars, he built a solid career after Baywatch, landing roles in The Sopranos, Greenleaf, Remember the Titans, and many other projects. He also became an author and a civil rights advocate. Yes, Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa, was in Baywatch Hawaii. It was his first major role, playing lifeguard Coco. After the show, he struggled to find serious acting jobs due to his Baywatch past. He reinvented himself with Stargate Atlantis, then Game of Thrones, which led to his massive career as a Hollywood A-lister, eventually starring as Aquaman in the DC universe. Krista Allen played Jenna Abbott in Baywatch Hawaii and later starred in Days of Our Lives. She also appeared in hit movies like Liar Liar and had relationships with famous stars like George Clooney. However, she struggled to maintain A-list status and eventually transitioned into indie films and television guest spots. Jason Brooks took on the role of lifeguard Sean Monroe in Baywatch Hawaii. He later appeared in Days of Our Lives and guest starred in popular shows like The Mentalist and NCIS. While he never became a superstar, he continued to work steadily in Hollywood. Zach McEwen was introduced in Baywatch Hawaii, but his actor Charlie Brumley disappeared from Hollywood soon after the show ended. He took on small roles but eventually left acting altogether. Long before Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston played a villain on Baywatch. He later became known as the goofy dad in Malcolm in the Middle, before transforming his career with his legendary role as Walter White. He has since won multiple Emmy Awards and remains one of the most respected actors in Hollywood. Mila Kunis was just a kid when she had a small role on Baywatch before landing that '70s show. Her career took off with Family Guy, Black Swan, and Friends with Benefits. Brooke Burns had a minor Baywatch role before becoming a well-known television personality. She went on to host game shows like Dog Eat Dog and Masterminds and appeared in several Hallmark movies. Comedian David Spade guest starred on Baywatch as a nerdy wannabe lifeguard in a hilarious episode. He later became famous on Saturday Night Live, Just Shoot Me, and in movies like Joe Dirt and Grown Ups. He remains a successful comedian and podcast host today. And that's how the Baywatch cast has changed over the years. Which transformation surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you love this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more nostalgia-filled videos.